Yo, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another video. So today we finally got a good trading session. This entire week we've been in a very rough, losing days. We had some good days and we also had some bad days and some break-even days. So for example, this over here was a break-even on Monday. We had a good day on Tuesday, which played out very, very nice. This was a very good trade on Tuesday. Wednesday comes, we end up taking two losses. Yesterday was my worst trading day ever. Lost over $4,000, which is unfortunate, but again, that is part of the game. And then this morning, today is Thursday, my best trading day of the week. Today we were able to catch a very nice trade here with gold that played out for a 1-3 risk to reward, which is over 390 pips. And then right now during this Asian session, you guys can check this out. We just caught this amazing trade right over here, which is currently running overall. We secured over 150 pips at a 101.9 risk to reward, almost at a 1-2 risk to reward. We're still holding this trade here risk free. We're still in this position, and I have final take profit set over here, which is going to be around the 40.52. So if I show you guys, this is the current position that we're holding right now. Let me just show you guys the profit. Right now we're currently floating over $620. You guys can see this. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. Right there. Look at that profit. So beautiful trading day today. This morning with this setup over here, we were also able to make over $6,000. Again, this is in account management. This is not my personal fund. My personal fund, obviously, I'm not making above those $1,000 just yet. But my personal fund with this setup over here, I did make over $900. And this trade over here, I did end up closing out at $400. So we still closed out like in 1,000+ day, which is still dope. Hopefully one day we do move up to one of these big accounts. So let's go here in the Telegram. I'm going to send you guys or show you guys the signal that we were able to take this morning. So we're going to go off the first trade, which was the New York session. You guys can see 390 pips, 1-3 risk to reward. I called out this trade at 9:51 in the morning, and we end up hitting our final take profits at I believe it was 10:10. So it was a very quick trade, in and out trade. Played out very, very nice the way as we expected or anticipated. And then right now 7:25, right now it's 8:20, so it's been an hour. I called out a buy signal over here inside the free Telegram. So you guys are lucky because I was gonna send this trade inside the VIP, but you guys did blow up the account over here. I told everyone, hey, 100 volts, and I'll send you guys the free signals. You guys gave me 130 volts. End up giving you guys the signals, and as you guys can see, we did end up hitting every single take profit as well. So lucky you guys were able to benefit off two good trades. Happy that you guys were able to make a lot of money with these trades as well. Now, I'm going to be breaking down the setup, explaining to you guys exactly why did I take these trades. Very easy, very simple. Honestly, this trade that we took last night during the Asian session, we should not lost it. Again, obviously it's not what we want, but it's what the market gives us. But as you guys can see, we were looking for buy position, and buy position did end up playing very, very nice. But I'm going to give you guys the full analysis, explain to you guys why did I take this buy position here and why did I enter another buy position here during the Asian session. So let's get right into this. So first thing first, we're going to start off from a weekly time frame perspective, right? So obviously, since it's Thursday already, the week is coming to an end. I want to show you guys exactly, pretty much the things that I really take a look at almost every single day, right? It's always going to be the weekly time frame, right? Now, the reason why I take a look at the weekly time frame is due to the fact that it shows you pretty much the volume of the market, right? So in this case over here, earlier this week, obviously we were in a bearish market. Now, I want you guys to notice this entire weekly low, right? Notice exactly where this weekly low stopped. So we guys take this off. You guys can see that this weekly low, we did stop at this lows over here, which was the beginning of this month. This is this monthly lows as well. And as you guys can see, this is an area where there was a lot of demand. And as well, if you guys take a look here at the weekly time frame, we do have a strong weekly imbalance candle. If you guys go here on the daily time frame, we also have another daily imbalance candle, right? So again, we have a daily imbalance candle. We have an area of support over here, or an area of demand, where price session did return back over here to pretty much fill up the unfilled order that the market had over here. So again, this was the first buy position that we did see earlier this month, which obviously kept pushing the market higher. Price session had a retracement. We came back towards these lows. If you guys take a look here on the weekly time frame, you guys can see how clearly this weekly time frame over here respected, right? So obviously on the weekly time frame, it still shows that we're overall bullish. So weekly time frame, we were bullish. We respected these entire demand zone. Daily time frame, same story. We respected these entire demand zone. And I also want you guys to focus on this imbalance candle. Notice how this imbalance, we did came back to retest. Price session perfectly rejected off it, and we also closed above it. So that's exactly the main reason why yesterday I was looking for buy position as well. But obviously the setup did not play out. And yesterday I did call this trade out during the VIP. So let me show you guys the notes that I had from yesterday. because they do kind of relate from today trades as well. So check this out. Number one, rejection, weekly daily demand zone 38.90. Previous daily candle closed above 39.50, daily imbalance candle. The third one is the intraday shifts of structure, bearish to bullish, right? So if you guys go here to the 4-hour time frame, you guys can clearly see this perfect intraday structure, shift of structure. You go here to the 1-hour time frame, same exact story. We came back towards these daily structures right over here, which is as well an area of demand. This is where the first initial buyer stepped into the market. Price action came back to pretty much retest these entire imbalance zones. And you guys can see how price perfectly, swept out all of these entire lows, and we started shifting structure. You guys can clearly see the structure from here. We had lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Came back to lows. We got a high, we got a higher low, a higher highs, and a higher lows, and a higher highs. Clean, right? Now, this was the buy position that we took yesterday, which failed. We were pretty much looking for buy position since price session did break above all of these entire intraday structures. So very simple. You guys can clearly see here, we had an area of resistance, then price session did end up building an area of support right over here, right? So from that zone over here, you guys can see how price action, if you guys take a look from a higher time frame perspective, you can see how price action did build up an area of support here. And if you guys look towards the left side, you guys can see how we perfectly maintained itself above these exact zone, right? And then as well, we had the price action came back towards these lows. We swept them out, and we did close out as an imbalance candle here in the 15-minute time frame. All I simply did was place my fib level from these lows to these highs over here, place my buy limit. Again, it is a game of probability. Price action failed. My second buy order was going to be placed at these exact zones right over here, which was the breaker structure from the intraday time frame as well. So you guys can see from the intraday time frame, I had a buy limit set at these exact orders over here, which obviously failed as well. So we end up taking the losses, which is cool. And then price action during the Asian session, notice how we came back all the way towards these exact demand zone as well. These are the same exact area, which we did see some initial buyers step into the market on Tuesday, which obviously pushed the market higher. Price action came back once again. Notice the first rejection. We had the bullish structure. Price action came back once again, respected all of these entire lows, obviously showing us that buyers are protecting these zones, right? So this is the same exact setup that we took this morning. So today's morning setup was very, very simple. Since price action was respecting these exact intraday lows right over here, notice this entire market structure shift. We had highs, or let me just do this. We had highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lows. And then we got a high, and then we got a low. So we got equal lows right over here. Price action perfectly respecting all of these entire structure from these zones over here, which obviously is the areas where initial buyers stepped in the markets, right? At this point over here, what do we have? We have price action breaking above all of these entire structure. Boom. Right here is the confirmation or the possibility of the market shifting structure from a bearish market to a bullish market. Very simple. So if you guys go here on the 30-minute time frame, right, just clean this off. You guys can see the structure shifted, right, from again bearish, lower high, lows, highs, and then a higher low. You guys can go in the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame did the same exact thing. And what do we have here in the 1-hour time frame? We have an imbalanced candle. What do we have here in the 30-minute time frame? We also have a bullish engulfing, or not bullish engulfing, we have a bullish fair value gap candle right over here, which is the exact blue box that I marked up here. And as well, once we marked up this blue box, what do you guys notice? Notice how price action broke above structure. We came back, respected off this fair value gap, and we also respected off this entire VWAP. And if you guys notice this VWAP, and if you guys notice the left side over here, what do we have? We have an intraday structure. Areas of resistance, highs, 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 broke above structure, higher highs, and a higher low. Very simple market structure. And again, we also have this other intraday structure right here. If you guys go from the 1-hour time frame, it is all areas of resistance, which obviously we did see that sellers were holding this level at one point. We have sells here, we have sells here until we finally broke above structure. So literally, this is all from understanding change of character and also understanding break of structure. It's very simple to understand these type of setups, right? We have the lows, the highs, the higher lows, respect the first fair value gap, respected this break of structure. Boom, we got the broken structure above here. Creates a new higher high. Price action comes back. We're bouncing off all of this entire fair value gap as well. We build up a minor demand zone right over here, which is the same exact lows that we kind of build up from these structures. So again, these are all the structure from the London session. Price action broke above. We came back and we respected these London lows. This is the first zone that buyers stepped into the market. And then notice how market came back towards these levels. We came back, retested, we had the first bounce, and then we have the New York session opened up, which pretty much we swept out all of these entire lows. You guys can see that, right? Swept out all of these entire lows. And we finally closed above structure. And then we finally as well rejected off this entire VWAP. So again, we got every single confirmation that we wanted this morning. First thing first, which is from a higher time frame, we respected all of these demand. Then we started coming back towards these structures over here, which obviously buyers were holding previously, and then price action did the same exact story. And then we finally started having the change of character and respecting all of these entire structures, all of this entire bullish structure. Now, once we pretty much swept out these lows over here, I did not enter the market right away. Again, simply because there was no entry signal for us yet. So if you guys kind of drop down here on the 5-minute time frame, notice how price action we had to push towards the upside. We were kind of consolidating from these zones over here. All I waited for was for a nice bullish candle to close above and also break above these minor highs. And that's exactly where I entered, which was these candle right here. And then we target all the way back during this exact London highs. And then notice how perfectly price action ended up hitting our final take profit. Beautiful. And if you guys kind of look at this on a 15-minute time frame, right, we also have a fair value gap here from the bearish market, which even confirmed even higher. So notice how price action inversed that fair value gap here. We came back to retest. Obviously, buyer continued to hold above, and then we started pushing the market even higher. Cool. So it looks like we just got stopped out right now. I break even with this trade. Yeah, so we got stopped out, but here is the total profit that I end up making right now during the Asian session. $2,188. You guys can see that right there. Beautiful, right? Now, Asian session trade, very simple as well. What was I looking for? The simple break and retest setup. What do we have here? We have highs, highs, highs. We broke above structure. You guys are following the trend. We are in a bullish trend. Market's creating higher highs and higher lows. You guys go here on the intraday time frame, we broke and closed above this entire trend. Very simple, right? So again, you guys go back here towards the 15-minute time frame. You guys can see how price action broke above structure. We came back, we retested it. Once we closed above this 15-minute candle, right? So basically what I waited for, you guys go back here in the Telegram, I sent it out, well, I sent this out as in the side of VIP. So inside the VIP, so as you guys can see inside the VIP, I called this out as a buy stop. This was at 7:18, 8:30, we just ended up getting stopped at a break even. But check this out. The reason why I called this out as a buy stop was very simple. What do we have? We have highs, broke above structure, higher highs. Obviously, the goal here is to come back to retest. We came back to retest these zones. Notice this candle right here. This candle here was simply having the rejection. So this is pretty much sweeping and grabbing liquidity from the downside. Very simple. We waited for this 15-minute candle to close above this entire structure, which is exactly this candle, and it perfectly did. Now, what I simply waited for was for price action to come back and simply break above these minor highs here. So obviously we broke structure, we liquidity swept, and then we got this candle opening above, which obviously we closed above these levels here, which is the idea. So my goal from this point here was waiting for price action to break above these minor highs. And so I basically set up a buy stop right above here. And as you guys can see, perfectly broke above structure and we got active in this trade. And then this trade over here perfectly did end up playing out very slow. We did end up securing some nice profit, which was over $2,000 at this time of here, plus yesterday. So obviously we did make a lot of money this morning. So you guys can see that we end up closing out this position around 101.9 risk to reward. But that was basically the setup that I took this morning, this Asian session, which was just a few minutes ago. Perfectly played out. Very simple trade, just break and retest. Every time you guys are waiting for a trade, obviously you guys want to be waiting for these type exact candles, which is once we get the break of structure, which is the areas of interest, you always want to wait for the rejection. The rejection candles are always going to look something like this, which is price action pretty much faking out sellers and then closing above these areas of interest. And then your goal is obviously waiting for the entry signals. Now, this trade over here, I forgot to mention, which is also, I also placed, this was also a fib zone trade. So if we kind of focus on these lows over here, which was the Asian session lows, the first initial lows or the first higher lows, you guys can clearly see if we place the fib level from this point all the way to these highs over here. You guys can see how we were retesting first break of structure, retesting this exact demand zone, and then notice how price action was also respecting all of these entire golden zone. So if you guys kind of look at this from a 30-minute or a 1-hour time frame perspective, you guys can clearly see how we were just perfectly respecting all of this entire golden zone. Right, you guys can look at the 4-hour time frame, same story. Go back here on the 5-minute time frame, same exact story. We came back, retested the golden zone, broke above structure, came back, liquidity sweep all of these entire lows, and we finally closed above these inside these exact golden zones, which is exactly where you guys want to enter the market. It was a very simple trade. Hope you guys were able to profit off these both trades here inside the free Telegram. If you guys have any question about this concept, you feel free to always comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another trade.